You're now tuning in to the Ambitious Views podcast, where we share unique perspectives on storytelling within film and television from the past, present, and future. We're here for a good time, not a long time. So let's get to it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Ambitious Views podcast. And y'all, guess what? Not only is it 2024, but it is also the second season of the Ambitious Views podcast. So I want to truly thank you all for supporting us. We're almost coming up on a year next month. So really excited to kick it off talking about the color purple for this episode, But before we get too far into it, I gotta holler at my favorite host, Blaze. What's poppin'?
What's up? Hey, Corrigan. How are you?
I am hungry but good. I thought you was gonna send me a little dinner across the waterway, but
Yeah,
um,
what you should stop doing is making assumptions.
ooh,
So,
assuming to be fed. Wow, that's
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
but it's a necessity.
Whatever. Anyway, season two, let's go. Let's get it. Look at
Oh
us.
my gosh.
Look at us.
Look at us. Oh my gosh. How did you go back to work today?
I went back to work yesterday.
Yes, yesterday. My bad, my bad. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Been pretty chill or busy?
Yeah, it's been steady,
Ain't
you
this a
know.
song?
What?
Steady,
Mm,
steady
you didn't have to
rocking
sing
all
it.
night long.
I
Make the
assure you that
rock
you did not have to sing it.
steady,
Oh no.
steady rocking all night long.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Book me.
Oh.
Book me, Team Ambitious. But cool beans. Well, yeah, I went to work yesterday. Thanks for asking. And but of course, I did a little extra work because I'm saving this good old PTO and stuff.
Come
So
on, PTO.
yeah, you know that.
Talking about PTO.
That was a good one. That was a good one. So anyway, but yeah, that was a real good one, Blaze. So overall, like I said, today we're going to begin in the color purple. But before we do that, nothing has changed. Of course, we're going to get into this or that. All right. And, Blaze, I hope you are ready.
Like I always say, I stay ready. I don't have to get ready. Unlike you, you got to start getting ready today for me next week. Y'all don't hear me this
Mm,
evening.
mm, okay, 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 okay. Um, this or that today is if you wanted to put somebody on the color purple, would you choose the original Steven Spielberg version with producer Quincy Jones, or would you put them on the color purple musical film with Blitz being the director? And I know it's more than that, but I know it's Oprah Winfrey, and I believe Steven Spielberg is two of the executive producers. Which one would you choose to put somebody
Um,
on?
I mean, it depends on the person, honestly, because if they're a person that loves musicals, then I'm gonna put them on that one first. Like
Mm,
my cousin, she loves musicals. We go to theater and stuff, so she would probably be like all down for the new one. If it's a person that just likes traditional movies, especially if it's like an older person,
mm-hmm,
the
mm-hmm,
original.
okay, okay. But which one would you tell them up front, though? So you tried to get around it, Sister Blaze here. That's what you tried to do. Which
I
one you
mean,
gotta
I did
pick?
it.
You gotta pick which one.
Me personally, the new one.
Okay. All right. Okay. I got you. Yeah. As we've said before, we're gonna be getting into it later, a little later on, so I'm not gonna get deep into it. So but cool. I hope I'm very interested, and maybe we'll put a post on our social media too. I'm interested to see what other people's ideas about it, and maybe what we may start doing for our podcast episodes is maybe inviting guests to come on and spectate, not necessarily be involved with it, but we definitely want to hear you all's thoughts about things and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
that'll be
anyway,
real cool.
it'll be really cool, really cool. We're trying to switch it up and add on new things for the upcoming year, so that's something that I'm definitely interested in. Blaze, what's on that watch list? What you been checking out from the end of last year to this year?
A little bit of everything. No, I'm just kidding. Not that much, honestly. I've still been rewatching Vikings. I'm on the last season.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so finishing that up. But I
Mm-hmm.
took a break from that. Like I finished the fifth season and I was like, okay, let me take a break and watch a couple of stuff that I wanted to either finish or start before the new year. And so I went
Mm-hmm.
ahead and watched Percy Jackson in the Olympians
Okay.
on Disney Plus.
All
Started checking
right.
that out.
All
And
right.
it's good. I really don't like I saw the movies. I just don't really remember. I don't
Mm,
remember it. I was more of like the Harry Potter divergent kid,
those
Hunger Games and
franchises.
stuff. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so it's not that I didn't get into Percy Jackson. I just am not a diehard like their fans are. And so
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm kind of going into this blind. Like even though I saw the movies, I'm kind of going into this blind. But I really like
Mm-hmm.
it.
Okay.
And I was apprehensive about it because I don't watch a lot of stuff that deals with that particular age group. In
Mm-hmm.
the movies, they aged Percy up to 16 or 17, but the show, which from the fans, it seems like the show follows the books more or the book
Mm-hmm.
more than the movie did. And so
Mm-hmm.
he's 12. But it's really good. The writing's good, the action's good, it's funny, it's real interesting.
Hmm.
One of the parts that got me, so when he goes to um well, I want to say it's like the first day that you get to like follow him around, so much
Mm-hmm.
stuff happens to this little boy and I'm just like, he only 12, y'all. He only
Dang.
12. Like by the end of the first episode, he didn't found out that he's a demigod. He didn't found out that his dad is a god. That's weird. His best friend is a protector, so he
Yeah.
really he really just became his friend to protect him. Something happened to his mama. Monsters are coming after him, and he got to
Mm.
stay in this camp. And I'm like, he only 12. And when he gets to this camp, I thought it was hilarious that they have. So the dude said, these are the children that are claimed, and these are the children that are unclaimed. And I was like, hold on. You telling me that they are not claiming their children? Get it together, God. Get it
Oh.
together.
Oh.
It's a messy situation. They got a whole group home, foster home
Oh,
situation.
wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
but it's
Dang.
really good. The writing is good. It's funny, adventurous, all of that good stuff. The episode with Medusa, like, I think I've always had like my own take on Medusa, but I like the way that they incorporated her in the show. That was a
Mm.
really good episode. So I do recommend checking it out. It's on Disney
Okay.
Plus. The fourth episode just dropped yesterday. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be 8 episodes in all. And
Hmm.
so check it out. I mean, if you like Stranger Things, that's they 12, or they started off as 12. But
Yeah.
I feel like you can also get into this one too.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I always found it interesting how of course, growing up, a lot of them were, close to those ages, in Disney projects and shows and stuff like that. And they didn't seem as young, but I don't know if because like we're older now or whatever like that, but I don't know. I feel like at times it's just like, can you make, that age range interesting for not only that age group, but also interesting to those who just are interested in those genres. So I know Locked and Key was kind of like that. They did a really good job with, even though most of the actors were younger in a sense, their stories were very interesting. And they wasn't that young, but Goosebumps, I feel like they made that age range, cool too, along with Hocus Pocus too. That was good too. So,
Yeah.
but
I
cool.
think too what's helping them is the fact that it is based off of like a franchise, whatever.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so, they already got a lot of fans.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
helping them as well.
Yeah.
But the other thing I went ahead and watched before the new year was Gen V, which is a
It's a
spinoff.
prequel,
I
right?
was
Is it a prequel?
mm-mm,
Oh, it's a
it's
spinoff.
just a spinoff of
Okay.
The Boys, and I really like the way that they do it because it's in the same timeline as The Boys, and so it
Mm.
is a show that you do kind of have to watch at least the last season of The Boys
Mm.
to follow the story, especially once you get to the end of the season. But it's good.
Mm.
I was apprehensive about this one. Well, I'll say this. When they first announced it, I was excited about it. I saw that the main character, she was black. I was like, I'm excited. The guy
Mm-hmm.
from Netflix, Sabrina, was in it. I was like, I want to see this show. Then it
Mm-hmm.
dropped, and I was like, I don't want to see this show. Only because like it took me forever to get through The Boys because everybody was
Yeah.
like, just keep watching, it gets better, it gets better. And like it literally took the last season for me to like really get invested in it. And so I was just like,
Mm.
I don't really know if I want to watch GNV, but I'm glad I did because it was amazing. The
Yeah.
writing was good. It wasn't too gory. Like it was gory, but it wasn't as gory as The Boys is. The
Mm.
characters were interesting. I didn't find them to be annoying. um, the acting was good.
Mm.
I'm excited about the next season of The Boys because of GNV,
Oh
because the
wow.
end of GNV is if it follows into what's about to happen on The Boys.
Mm.
And so that's why I say you kind of have to watch at least the last season of The Boys to
Mm.
really get the full essence of the show. But like I said, I like how
Mm.
they do it. And it really made me think about the early phases of Marvel movies
Mm.
and how I wish they would have incorporated the different characters in each other's solo movies more before they got into Avengers. Like, and I'm not saying like a huge way, something as simple as like, we watching the Thor movie and they mention the attacks from Iron Man or Captain America or something, something
Mm.
like that, where we can
Mm.
tell that like they exist in the same world. I feel like we
Got
don't
you.
realize they exist in the same world until they get in the Avengers movie. But with
Mm.
GNV, like they immediately start aligning the characters and the plot and the timeline. And so it doesn't feel like it's two separate projects that has the same team behind it. Like it's
Mm.
intertwined, but it's its own story.
Got you. Got you. That's cool. Yeah. I was kind of up and down about it. I mean, we still have to watch the third season. We still haven't watched the third season of The Boys. And I think I started on my own at first, and then I just started passively watching it with me and was locked in with the second season. Of course, like everybody knows that watches The Boys is very unique. I feel like it gives an experience of what people almost would kind of want out of DC at times, but maybe not as gory. When
Mm-hmm.
it comes to like just the groundedness and just how life is not all, bunny and roses and stuff like that when it comes to superheroes having to defend. Um, but I think for me at times what kind of happened for me with The Boys is just the pacing of the next season coming out and then knowing what to expect and it being
Mm-hmm.
so long in between, that it's almost I kind of forget why I would want to continue on. And so it's just been hard for me to get back into it, and stuff like that or whatever. But I definitely have heard a lot of great things about Gen V. Mhm.
Yeah, I recommend it, and it's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
And then the last thing, I finally watched the Barbie movie, which it was a cool, cute little movie. I liked it.
I thought you had already seen it.
No, I was very
Really?
no. I said that I was gonna wait until it came on HBO or
Wow.
Max, and I did.
Yeah. Wow. Well, yeah, I mean, it was really it was pretty dope. It was a pretty dope project. I appreciate the originality to it.
hmm I appreciate. I like how everything looks. Like they did a really
Hmm.
good job
Yeah.
of bringing this doll in, so many different aspects of it to life.
Hmm.
I enjoyed the movie, but it's weird though. I feel like the thing I enjoyed the most about Barbie was really the marketing. Like
Oh yeah.
the marketing
Um,
has been amazing. Even watching what's the lead actor's name? Margot?
yeah, Margot Robbie. Yeah.
Yeah. Like she'll wear an outfit that's inspired or, like a replica
Hmm.
of a famous Barbie. I'm like, that's so cool. Or
Yeah.
even the that one show that you watched that was like them building a home and
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
Like them
Yeah.
building a whole show just to market this show this movie was pretty awesome. But
Hmm.
I'm curious to see like if they're gonna try and do a follow-up, a second one or something. I wonder if they're thinking about doing that, and if so, um, like what would it be about?
Yeah. Yeah. I can see them maybe entertain this, say if there was a threat within, I don't know if it's called Barbie Land or wherever she's from. And so say if there's a threat there, she kind of goes back, and then just try to
Mm,
figure out how to save. I could see that type of approach. But I also wonder, are the larger studios trying to phase out of doing a whole bunch of remakes or build off of franchises? I mean, I know they're getting ready. I think the new Joker movie comes out this year, which would be really great. But I think this will be the last time we'll be seeing this Joker,
hmm
um, um, and stuff. So, but the thing about it, um, also, and I may be wrong, but the way that Warner Brothers, like seeing how they work, they're not so quick, in my personal opinion, unless I'm missing one, they're not so quick to stretch out a franchise if it's not needed.
Yeah.
They're definitely big on if that was the most solid that this movie can be and they don't need
hmm
another one, they're gonna leave it be.
And I'll
Or
be happy with
yeah.
that. I'll be
Hmm.
happy with that. Like the movie was fine. They don't necessarily need to do a second one or a follow up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. Like she was
Mhm.
made for that role. Um, Ryan Gosling made for that role. Like
Oh man, his energy was up there.
it was.
His
But
energy was up
but
there.
I'm happy for him because he is so talented. Like I always see
Hmm.
the videos of him from when he was in the Mickey Mouse Club and stuff.
Hmm.
They had them
Hmm.
babies working. They had them babies
Hard,
working. But like
hard.
I'm happy that people are really getting to see just how talented he is.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
put some
He's been
respect on his
booking.
name.
Yeah, he's been booking, and I think it's another film that he's gonna be in where he's an actor or something like that. And I forget her name, but I think she is the lead role in it's not Don't Breathe. What is the name of that project? I can't remember, but it's two films, but it's basically about they have to be very quiet.
Quiet Place?
Quiet Place, yeah. Um, she's playing a director, and but basically ends up being way bigger than just them trying to produce a movie or something like that or
Oh, I
whatever.
saw that trailer. Yeah, I know what movie you're
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah, yeah. So I think I'm interested to see how that's gonna go, and stuff. I don't know. I don't know if I go directly to theaters to see it, maybe depending on who's producing it or whatever. Um, but it does seem like a unique movie, and 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 you never know. Sometimes some things are remade, but I'm glad we're starting to see films that we haven't seen before. I know A24 has another project coming out. Shoot, I forgot the name of it, but it basically seems like it's about the country still being split in certain type of unions and stuff like that or whatever.
Hmm.
But it's more so one of, if not the first blockbuster, I think, type of level project for A24.
Oh,
And
that's
and
cool.
it's yeah, it's interesting. I have to send it to you, but I can't remember the name of it right now because it's a straightforward name. So, oh, that's another movie that I did see. But I know you got Color Purple on your list too. But I know we're
Hmm.
gonna talk about that later. So, did you have it? Did you watch anything else?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
Okay, okay, cool.
What's on your
Uh,
watch list?
Yeah, so one thing that I just forgot that I did see is Leave the World Behind. I was really wanting to check that out. It was trending for a little while on social media for a while, kind of teasing different, those who have ideas, towards, conspiracy theories or just how things will probably react towards certain, catastrophic moments.
Hmm.
And but overall, it was pretty cool. The camera work in it was very unique. It was a very unique approach. It was very unique as opposed to like the style of it. You would think it would be in a different type of genre, which also kind of provided, along with the scoring of it, kind of gave a unique experience, especially if you would have saw it in theaters of what you thinking it's about to be type of film. But
Hmm.
then I feel like it teases in one way, but then it goes a whole nother different direction. But I know that was just my experience. But overall, it's pretty cool. If you like stuff like that, especially like Day After Tomorrow type vibes, stuff like that, I definitely recommend that film that's on Netflix. We did watch Squid Games a while back, the reality game show, and that was a really cool experience. So it all quickly renewed for a second season, which I definitely get. It definitely gives you vibes. It For those of you who have seen Escape Paradise, um,
Surviving Paradise.
Survivor Paradise, my bad. Survivor Paradise on Netflix. It definitely is that type of experience. And of course, it's just Squid Games, but the overall production of things, the eliminations, the games in it, the new games that's not even in the original series, really, 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 really dope. And people get paid out in the
Mm.
millions, or I guess an individual get paid out in millions. So highly recommend that as a passive game watch and stuff like that. Um, Not too long ago, I did see Little Richard's documentary. It's called Little Richard, I Am Everything. And that was good. It's on Max. I don't know if it's originally on Max or it's a partnership, but I know you can watch it on Max for right now.
Hmm.
And it was very interesting to see his story. I remember it being a biopic and watching some of it, but I wasn't quite sure of his full story. And plus that, I think that came out probably, or it seemed like based on the style it was produced, kind of remind me of the Jackson
You
Five
talking about
American.
the his biopic?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that was a long time ago,
yeah, yeah.
but
And
it was good.
I can't remember it fully. I just remember moments, and I remember a certain age of him at the piano playing a lot, but I can't remember seeing the whole thing through. But either way, I've always been interested in Little Richard because he had a lot of energy whenever you would see him in different projects and all the stuff like that. And I know he made an impact, but it's kind of one of those things, kind of like I feel like Tina Turner is just like, what is the full
Hmm.
story, you
I feel
know?
like he's underrated. You know.
Oh, most definitely. If you watch the documentary, you will get a full scope of him. I will say that the title "I Am Everything" it definitely fits in multiple ways. In the way that his battles, which I'm not going to spoil too much for those who want to watch it, but the things that he battled back and forth with things, to his career choices, to his impact. Like, people be like, "I am rock and roll, the king of pop," and all this stuff like that. Like, putting things into one thing this documentary definitely did is put things into perspective of how small things here and there that he did and kept up and the energy that it brought I can see how he is claimed to be the king of rock and roll. I can
Okay.
definitely see that. I can definitely see it, or even being within the the conversation of it. But the thing is, his impact
Most
and
definitely. Yeah.
yeah, his impact and his career, it was before Elvis, it was before James Brown, it was before Michael Jackson. I'm forgetting his name. He passed away not too long. David Bowie. It was before David Bowie. It was before the Beatles. It was before all these different type of. It was before Mick Jagger. It was before all of
Hmm.
them. You
Yeah,
know.
he really the blueprint for all of them. That's
Oh,
why I said he's underrated. Like a lot of the
mhm.
people that we talk about and we celebrate and stuff, I'm like, they got it from him.
Yeah, yeah, and so definitely if you enjoy learning about the music industry, people in the music and stuff like that, I highly recommend it. It's definitely worth the watch. It's not a long watch as well. It really gets straight to the point, it doesn't drag and stuff like that. But definitely recommend that as a documentary. We are deep into Attack on Titan.
Oh, deep into it. Okay.
Deep into Attack on Titan. Blaze.
So it's a quick watch because I know this is a lot of seasons. That's why I haven't started it
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah. So the first season, I think it's like 20. No, I think it's only like 20 something episodes. Second season is only like 15, I think. I think only 25 episodes, maybe in the first season, I think. And then the second season, I think it's like 15. It's really short. I think it is the shortest. And then the third season where we're in right now, I think it's back around like 20 something episodes. But yeah, episodes are really short, like 20 something minutes.
What season
Um,
are you on?
we're in season three.
Oh, so yeah, you are going through it because when we talked about this last week, I think you on season you just started. So okay.
Just started like
That's all
Blaze.
I needed to know.
Oh
I'll start
man.
it tonight.
Oh yeah, please do. Just text me at episode 5. Like if you start after we get off and start eating, if you're eating with it, hit me up after episode 5. All right, on down to the real take, and it's all about the Color Purple musical. All right.
Mhm.
I will say,
The
Blaze,
Color
I would
Purple musical, the movie.
yes, what you said.
Hmm.
I will be honest, Blaze. I just watched The Color Purple for the first time about 3 years ago.
Okay.
Um,
I've
I
only
fully.
watched The Color Purple in full once, and I was
Mhm.
probably like 10 years old.
Yeah.
So, like, I remembered the general premise of it.
Mhm.
I remember like iconic lines and phrases and stuff, but like
Yeah.
overall, you know, I don't want to say it was new for me, but I was interested in watching this movie because
Mm.
like my dad, for example,
Mhm.
when Color Purple like first went on what was the tapes called, the VH S.
VHS.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
they went
Did
on
you
those,
pause,
he got
pause,
those
pause,
every week.
pause, pause? Did you just say what they call that? Did you just say that?
Yeah, we don't use them anymore, so like yeah, what they call it now.
What you said that like it's ancient. Like what is
It's
that,
not ancient.
Blaze?
I used to treasure my VHS tapes. I used to have a Rugrats movie. Man, Power Rangers, don't play with me.
Hey, was your Rugrats tape, was it orange?
Yes.
Yeah. I had a I don't know what Nickelodeon one it was. It may have been Rugrats. I had that and I think I had a Barney one and it
I
was
had a
white.
Barney one. Yep.
Yeah, that's dope. But
Yeah.
yeah.
But my dad would rent it every week and watch it. You know, I was young, so I ain't know what he was watching. But
Yeah.
like I always thought like what made this movie so good to people. And so I was interested to
Hmm.
watch the musical just to kind of recapture that. Even though it's the
Yeah.
musical, I mean, it's all from the same source material, which is the
True.
book, you
True.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. I of course like growing up, especially like with cable and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure I would catch bits and pieces, but there was nothing like I truly was fully into the kid content, like mostly of my age range or whatever. There were things here and there, like the what's the name? The Wood. Like I really loved that movie growing up,
Oh yeah, that's a
catching
good
that on
movie.
TV and stuff like that or
Mhm.
whatever. Which that kind of was my introduction and what really made me love watching coming of age stories or stuff like that or
Mhm.
whatever. And I feel like it kind of also goes along
The
with like
writing is
biopics
so
too.
good for the wood.
Oh, really good, really good. And so, um, but yeah, like I was never just like interested in it. Of course, I would hear people like quote it or whatever, but
Hmm.
I wouldn't like, yeah, let me get on that. Like, no, I wouldn't like
Right.
that.
Like I told you, I watched it that one time when I was like 10 years old in my
Mm-hmm.
grandmama house in my cousin's room. And all I remember was this is the longest movie of my life. Like I can literally visualize myself laying on her bed and switching
Yeah,
positions because it was so long.
long. Oh man, and I can see that. Like I do remember it being long. I don't remember how long the first film was. I have to look that up, but I do remember it being long when I recently just watched it all the way through. But I do feel like it's definitely Steven Spielberg's like style.
Hmm.
He doesn't shy away from taking his time to get the point across, and to make sure you fully understand the characters, aware of like that in the moment that the characters are in. He definitely doesn't shy away from that, and that was not too far away. I don't know if that was before or after. It may have been after. But Schindler's List and Schindler's List, I think is close to 3 hours long, and
Hmm.
stuff like that. So yeah, like I definitely get where you're coming from on that, Blaze. So I mean, I guess I was about to ask too. Did you have any expectations, or what was your thoughts like when it first came out and stuff like that, or whatever? Um, but I guess we'll just more so go into like overall, like what was your experience like watching it? Like what were the emotions? What were the thoughts? Like, how were you feeling about this when you was watching the film?
Okay, so I'm gonna start here. It's a whole story to it. So my mama calls me and says, "Hey, do you want to go watch The Color Purple
Yeah,
on your birthday on Christmas with me and my all of my sisters?" And when she said all her sisters, I was like, "Nah, y'all got it," because I'm like, "Do they know it's a musical?"
true, true.
I did not want to be in the movie theater with them when they found that out.
Okay,
But
okay.
my mama had went ahead and purchased my ticket, and so I was like, "Let's go,"
Mm,
And so most of them, everybody in the theater, they behaved well. They
okay,
were receptive of
okay.
it being a musical, so that was good. As far as like my overall experience, as I
Mm-hmm,
mentioned before, like I like musicals.
mm-hmm,
Um, that doesn't bother me at all,
mm-hmm.
but it does take like I want the songs to
Enhance.
I want the songs to enhance what's going on and speak to me and make me really feel like the moment that's going
Yes,
on. And
yes.
so the first few songs in the movie, like I wasn't connecting. I wasn't there. It wasn't until when Harpo was building the his house, that was
Mm-hmm.
the first song that I was like, okay, I'm tapping in. And everything after that, I was locked in. I was interested.
Yeah.
I was ready for like whatever was next and what was happening and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. Um, I thought the acting was Danielle Brooks
Oh yeah.
was my favorite throughout the
Oh yeah.
entire movie. Like
Oh yeah.
I was waiting for her moments to come on screen
Mm-hmm.
the entire time. Like she was so good. And I know she starred in the in Color Purple on
On
Broadway.
Broadway. Okay.
And she was nominated for a Tony Award, but she lost because that was also the same year that Hamilton came out. So
Okay.
um
Okay.
but man, she was amazing. She was
Mm-hmm.
so good. And it really that's the only thing that made me want to go back and watch the original movie to
Mm-hmm.
get a better sense of that character because like I said, I only watched it once, but I know like all the lines and things like that, the iconic lines.
Mm-hmm.
And so it made me think about her character differently than, those iconic lines that people always repeat. Like I honestly did not realize how
Mm-hmm.
much that character was throughout the story, her importance, all of that. Like Danielle Brooks was so good.
Oh yeah, like she was definitely that. I saw a lot of people talking about her on social media about how well she did, and then I was seeing some of the nominations coming out and everything because we was kind of late, a little bit behind, like being able to see it because we didn't get to watch it till this past Monday, and
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, like no, like I definitely get where you're coming from. Like she definitely came with it. And like you said, the overall cast overall, like, which, makes a lot of sense when it comes to their nominations. It was a true ensemble of them truly coming together and making something great, which I do feel like in a sense, even though like filmmaking is a team sport, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like uh plays definitely requires a tight unit when it comes to everybody being on
Yes.
the same page.
Yes. The
Being
chemistry
yeah.
with this cast was so good.
Oh yeah, very good.
So
And
good.
yeah,
Everybody
very
did a
good.
good job with their interactions with
Mm-hmm.
each characters,
Mm-hmm.
even like just the smallest things, whether it was their facial expressions and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was so good. So
Oh
good.
yeah. Oh yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. I will say that, I'm always apprehensive nowadays just because it's been a couple of other films that I've seen that are musicals, that's definitely outside of Disney for me,
Mm-hmm.
live actions that have been more musical that have been more, it's been more musical than story. And I do
Mm-hmm.
feel like it takes a true talent. And not saying people aren't talented, but it's I feel like it's one of the most difficult projects to produce, as
Oh,
in
oh
producing
yeah.
a musical film,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's original or whether you adapted it into a screenplay. I feel like it's truly hard, and it's not knocking people that may have gotten back not backlash, but just people wasn't as big of a fan about it. But I
But
will
it's
say
so hard to
it's
do.
hard. It's hard.
And I mean, I I knew that the movie was a musical and I knew that it was based off the original um musical, but I
Mhm.
wasn't familiar with the musical. Like I've never seen it before or
Right.
anything like that or listened to the song. And
Hmm.
so I didn't know if it would be that type of musical where they would have a lot of talking parts and then have songs, or if it would
Hmm.
be more like Hamilton in the Heights where it's everything is a song, you know. It's
Yeah. 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 For
I think
me.
the fact that it was not like that also helped people to be more receptive of it for
Hmm.
those of them who aren't into musicals and stuff.
Yeah. Most definitely. Most definitely. I mean, like you said, I'm just like you. I enjoy musicals. Like High School Musical is what I was really introduced to outside of Disney movies,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. And so, for me, I eat those things up, but I have been on the receiving end of attending a live action film that's a musical, and it's
Mm-hmm.
the pacing of it is a little bit more on the draining side, and so
That's true.
but for me, for this has been the most enjoyable musical film I've seen in a long time for me.
In regards to pacing, I mean, it made me feel exactly like I felt with the original movie. That is
Okay.
just so long, but not
Hmm.
it's just a lot of story. It's a
Hmm.
lot of elements to this story. It's a lot of
Hmm.
subplots. Like it's just a
Hmm.
lot that
I
comes
like how
out of
you said
you.
subplots because there is a lot of moments that has to be resolved
Hmm.
in this, which makes it a very dynamic story. So yeah.
And I wish I could think of a better word than long because I mean, it's not. It's like it was 2 hours and 21 minutes, and the original was like 2 hours and 38 minutes.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
and
I feel
so
yeah, I mean, I mean, I get what I can see where you coming from as far as like the length of it. I mean, I feel like for me, one thing I was interested in how it was gonna go about is okay, yes, this is a musical, but I didn't expect 2 hours and 20 minutes to be on thing. I was thinking like straight to the point, kind of thing or whatever. But even plays itself has to, get enough time or wherever like that on stage to really get the point across. But I feel like for me, even though yeah, it was 2 hours and 20 minutes, I didn't leave the theater feeling like it was
I
for
didn't
me.
leave the theater feeling like that, but as I was
Hmm.
watching the movie, um, there were points in the movie where I was like, dang, it ain't resolved yet. Dang, that like when Fantasia was singing I Am Here, I think that's the name of the song.
Hmm.
Um, I was like, this from what I know of musicals and stuff, this is a show inner.
Yeah, it's a
This ends the
closer.
show.
Yeah,
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 no, it was still some more after
yeah,
that. And
yeah.
so like that's what I'm talking about. Like
Hmm.
it was just a lot to get through,
Yeah.
but it's weird to say. It's like it's not in a bad way. Like
Hmm.
if the source material, if the book has all of these elements into it, and you have to resolve those elements by the end, like it's gonna
Hmm.
feel that way because you don't really want to take something out. Because if you take something out, we're gonna miss something. We're gonna miss the element. Like
Yeah.
my dad was talking to my brother when we got back from seeing the movie, and he was or talking to my brother and my mom, and they were talking about how like in the original movie you don't see Mr. Go sell his land or something like that.
Hmm.
But in the musical, we do get to see that part. And it's
Hmm.
like for anybody who's never read the book and they didn't know that element, like
Hmm.
that's kind of a key thing. And that's a big deal. Like, mind you, this is a town filled with black people who own their land. For this
Yeah.
man to on his redemption arc sell his land to help somebody else that he was cruel to, like
Hmm.
that's something that you want to keep in. And
Oh
so
yeah.
even though it makes the movie longer, I think it's an important thing to it's something that you don't want to lose.
Most definitely. I definitely agree with that. I agree that like, yeah, like it was a lengthier film and yeah, it was a musical intertwined with that, but everything that was in there was needed. I never did feel like, okay,
Exactly.
y'all just trying to stretch this out. I feel like everything in it was needed. I was thinking the same. I said, okay, this might be the end of it. Um
Mm-hmm.
this might be the end of it and stuff like that or whatever. But I but when it kept on going, I was like, okay, so it's not the ending,
It's
but
not the ending.
but
I
when it
knew.
keeps on going, I was like, but it makes sense why it's not the ending.
Mm-hmm. Because
Or
you're
it
like,
makes
oh
sense
yeah.
because yeah, it's like, oh, this is something else, and I want to know
Mm-hmm.
about this too. So keep
Mm-hmm.
going. So yeah, yeah, yeah.
We needed every little thing. But like I remember how it ended in the movie. I just didn't remember like from a certain point in the movie, I didn't remember how we got there. And
True.
so that's
Yeah.
probably the both of us the experience we were having like, oh, it's
Hmm.
about the end. No, it's not. Oh, it's about the end. No, it's not.
Hmm.
You know, I
Hmm.
know that it ended with her and her sister coming back together. And so
Hmm.
I'm as I'm watching the movie, I'm like, it feels like it's about the end, but how are they going to
Hmm.
take this moment and connect it to her losing her sister? I mean, to getting back with her sister. And
Yeah.
so I feel like that probably was more so my problem is I was anticipating
Mm.
the end because they had so many false ends. You know,
Yeah.
moments where they were
Okay. Yeah.
resolving the subplots. I think
Yeah.
that's probably my issue.
I like how you said that. Yeah, because I mean, like I said, Link for me, and on top of that, I'm getting back into going to the theater, especially not
Yeah.
being able to see it as soon as it comes out. Like that's the thing that really hurts my feelings when I'm not able to get to it really quickly. But I definitely enjoyed it. The pacing of it was really great. It got to a point to where it's like it's like the experience was like, hey y'all, it's like almost a family reunion. We're excited that you're here. This is the foundation, stuff like that. But hold on, let's get real. Let me give you a lowdown of what's really going on in these families. But
Mm-hmm.
then and then it's like, but we're gonna celebrate in moments. We're gonna be real at this moments. We're gonna
Mm-hmm.
express how we feel as these characters. But then there also were other moments where how do I want to say it? That well, there was also a moment where I felt that it's like we're gonna give you singing, we're gonna give you moments, but then we also are gonna let the words out of the mouths of these actors come out and get the point across. Like, because for some reason in my head, I know there were more songs there because I really enjoyed almost I enjoyed every single one. But literally up until when Fantasia sung that song, which was really good,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember when the last time we had heard a song leading up to that because it was so much
Mm,
intentional acting. And so I feel like kind
that's
of
a
like
good
a
point.
Disney until like kind of like a Disney film. I got so much of the story like that. This song right here is the cherry on top
Mm-hmm.
of everything that's done happened.
False ending.
Um, yeah,
It was that triumph song. It was that
it
we shall
was.
overcome. I
Yes,
have
yes,
overcome. I'm
yes.
good. Like that's how I feel. Watching her sing that song, especially like towards the end of that scene, it just
Mm-hmm.
really put me back in mind of when she won American Idol, and I just got
Mm-hmm.
so happy for her
Mm-hmm.
to see how
Mm-hmm.
far she's come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, like because like, I know character development choice, I know it was like attached to certain things or whatever, and they tried to delve within there, and I haven't been able to watch too many projects to really get a deeper understanding. I think I really wanted to just watch it as is. I didn't want to know too much about their approach.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say like you, like it wasn't necessarily Fantasia, but I did I did finally like more so like I felt sorry for uh Celie. I feel
Mm-hmm.
sorry for her, like, of course. But then there was also like moments where it was a back and forth of getting frustrated, like, push through. Like you see all these other women around you, like, persevering through what they're going through or choosing themselves and stepping up and speaking out, like push through, and she had all these different type of examples around there. And that's when it was like I felt sorry for her, but at the same time, in moments I was getting like frustrated with her.
Mm-hmm.
And you
That's an
know,
interesting take. Because I didn't see it that way.
hmm hmm
But I can see how you saw it. I think I didn't see it that way because what I try to do is think about somebody's age when they get into a situation,
hmm hmm
and so from basically her whole life, like she didn't really get to see good examples.
hmm
So the foundation for her was bad.
hmm
She didn't have a good foundation. And
hmm
so when she saw those examples of the women that were pushing through, she didn't really know what to make of it. Like
They
they
were
were
like
like
unicorns.
unicorns.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
They were
were
like
like
unicorns, yeah.
unicorns to her. She's like, they can do that, but I can't do that. And
hmm
so
hmm
I'm I get what you mean when you say like you wanted her to push through, but I also think that like the point that the original writer's trying to make is we also got it. We are a community
hmm
of people, and we
hmm
need to help each other. And
Yes.
so if I'm, it's kind of like your episode in Black Eyed Peas on mentorship. Like if I've
hmm
made it, I need to
hmm
go and bring other people up with me,
hmm
And so
hmm
here's Suge seeing like, okay, she being treated wrong, and she
Yes.
doesn't have the confidence to empower herself.
Right.
I'm have to go get myself together so I can come back and get her.
Beautiful
And
thing.
then she did the same thing,
hmm hmm
So that's kind of how I saw it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And there's a lot of themes in it, as in when it comes to Celie and Sophia. Like just because you down doesn't mean you can't help others out. Just
Mm-hmm.
because you don't feel like you have much to give, some of the most smallest things or what you're able and blessed to be able to do can be some of the most impactful things in people's lives. So there was a lot of healthy themes in
That's a
there.
word right there.
um
You
there was a
preaching.
lot. Hey, I mean, it was things in there that resonated, and stuff like that. And one thing that I will say in this, I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember my full experience watching the first Color Purple, but I will say, unlike some other films that I've seen that where it's showing realistic experience of women who black women who are being oppressed within their own communities,
Mm-hmm.
and by some black men, and sometimes not even just black men, it's the communities as well. I appreciate that there was still a sense of goodness within black men within the communities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
There
like they
wasn't,
let Mister get a redemption arc.
yeah, which I mean, it don't always happen. And it was cool. Um,
It was cool.
it was cool. You know, I feel like if anything, I appreciated Harpo's development more. Um,
Yes. That's
more than
another
Mister.
Corey Hawkins. He was
Mm.
amazing. He
Oh
was
yeah.
so good as Harpo. I mean,
Oh
he's an
yeah.
amazing actor overall, like definitely underrated.
Hmm.
But him and Danielle Brooks, like they made me see Sophia and Harpo differently than
Yes.
what I remember from the original movie. And so I'm like,
Okay.
dang, I really need to go back and rewatch the original movie because my perception of it has been wrong all
Hmm.
these years.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean going to that when you're talking about comparing, like I don't correct me if I'm wrong, did they elaborate much on Africa in the first one? Much? Or am I don't remember
Not
Africa.
that I
I mean, I only
remember.
watched it one time.
I remember the end um with some African elements to it, but that's all I remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I would say about that that I truly appreciate, and I don't know if this was in the original, I don't know if this was in the original one or not, but the thing that I appreciated, and it's kind of keeping up the energy, and I appreciate that because I do feel like after Black Panther, where like that, it's like the sense of being connected to our roots, not necessarily here in America, especially based off of like how majority of us got here or whatever, but also still celebrating where we came from. And I
Mm-hmm.
love that there was a sense of balance of telling the truth about what was should have been going on at that time, which is the apartheid. But
Mm-hmm.
also there is a celebration of who we truly are and all this stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And and it wasn't no ugliness. It was the truth of both sides, and I do believe there's truth in it where we can be
Mm-hmm.
excited and proud of or whatever like that. And I really loved how it was in the midst of that, all the way that
It
wrapped
was
all the way
well
around.
incorporated, yeah.
Oh, I loved it all the way into the end. And so, I don't know, like I'll be interested to know about other people's experiences when it comes to did this film take a good chunk from the play, some of course from the original story, and some from the film, but then also I don't want to say fix, but gave a different approach to how to address certain themes and moments,
Mm-hmm.
and characters and stuff like that in the film.
I've
So
heard that the musical is closer in adaptation to the book than the
mhm.
original movie was.
Yeah,
So
me
I would
too.
assume, that this movie is also closer
Hmm. Hmm.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was something I wish I would remember that they said something that Blitz really wanted to incorporate or whatever, but I cannot remember what it was. But one other element that I really loved is the choreography of this
Hmm.
project. The choreography was really great, energized. The introduction of Suge coming in. Oh, that
I
was really
know.
dope.
Yeah. Hmm.
That was really dope. And you know who was the choreographer of this?
I know who it was. I can't think of her name.
Fatima Robinson from Little
Fatima.
Rock,
Yes,
Arkansas.
Fatima.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah,
The
so that
choreographer to the stars.
oh yeah. So she definitely did her thing. Bliss
She
did
did
his
an
thing.
amazing job.
Actors did their thing, and it was overall just really cool, a really just good experience. Like it told realness of things and it didn't shy away and stuff like that. But I just love the great balance of we being real with y'all. Let's let's come together as a family and
Mm-hmm.
as a village, but also we can move past this and we
Mm-hmm.
can do better as long as you're willing to. And that's why I think the other thing that I really appreciate is that we can move past the mistakes as long as you're willing to admit it and acknowledge it. You know what I'm
That part.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like that. And of course, it takes an even stronger person to accept the apology. But and that's what was thing, like, everything you do by me, whatever. But there was a sense of like, okay, but I'm gonna go back on that, and so really great. I'm happy for them. I know it's been, some questions about like why they need to and all this stuff like that. But it was a great film, out of all the remakes and
In
and all the
terms of
stuff like
like
that.
why they need to
Yeah,
introduce it to a new generation. The
true.
original is from 1985.
Yeah,
Maybe these Gen Zs are not watching that many 1985 movies. Like, let's be
at all.
honest.
At
They think
all.
that our early 2000 movies are old school movies. So
Which is wild to me.
you think that they
Yes.
watching, let them see something that's in black and white. What?
Yeah.
That's from
Yeah.
the Stone Age. No, it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. And Blaze, when it was starting and the musicals come in and out, I was just thinking we needed this. Like
Hmm.
when have we,
It
as
was
far as black
refreshing.
cinema, you know what I'm saying? Like when have we gotten like a really good film that resonated with us culturally, especially when it comes to the music and more so like a musical. You know what I'm saying? Like we've
Hmm.
had Black Panther and stuff like that, and there's been other smaller budget films here and there that have done a really great job. But I just feel like those moments, it hit a lot of elements, whether it's genre of music,
Hmm.
style, like themes, conversations. Like it did a really
And
great job.
also to add, the movie made millions. It was the number
Mhm.
one movie, and it had an all black cast.
Yeah.
So
Hmm. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, just to kind of elaborate on what you said, I've checked out the nominations and stuff like that. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the Golden Globes may be this weekend, and stuff. But, as far as nominations, y'all, like Critics' Choice Awards, they got Best Acting Ensemble, Best
she'll win
Picture,
it. She'll win it.
Best Costume Design, Best Supporting
Mhm.
Actress Danielle Brooks,
She'll
and
win it.
best hair and makeup, and I would say outside of styles of designs and stuff like that, not knocking anybody else, but I haven't just truly been like, oh, okay, like I see the costume, like
The
the
only
hair and makeup
thing
and stuff like that.
I don't know
It's
what
been a
else is
while.
nominated, but
Hmm.
the only thing that could probably match this or compete with this is Barbie in
I can
costume
see that.
design
I can see that. I can see
and hair
that.
and makeup.
But even before then, for me, like Ruth Carter's effort within Black Panther to me
Oh,
has
hmm.
been the only thing, and of course you got your, Bridgerton and other things too. But just originality or just kind of showing how we looked in those times is still something that's rarely ever enjoyed because most of the time it's very sad films. You know what I'm saying? Just to
Yep.
be quite honest, it's not very celebratory.
Hmm.
But yeah, like Golden Globes, they got nomination for best performance by a female actor in a motion picture, musical or comedy, which is Fantasia. Along with that, they have another nomination, which is interesting. They only had these two. I will say that.
Hmm.
And but it's best performance by a female actor in a supporting role in any motion picture is Danielle Brooks. And so I have to go back and look and see what the other nominations are. But sometimes it's not always the case, but sometimes these kind of predict what the nominations may or may not be for the Academy Awards. So, which for those of you who are not familiar, that's the Oscars. So,
Hmm.
but we're gonna see. We're gonna see. It's a very unique time because year before last, Golden Globes wasn't even televised, or it may have been last year, it wasn't televised. And so we're gonna see how things keep on moving forward. Black Real Awards, when it comes to nominations, Blitz got and just to name some, I didn't name all of them in this one. I just wanted to name out something that's a little different. Blitz got Outstanding Director for Black Real Awards, and then Coleman Domingo got
He was amazing.
um, supporting performance. Now, I will say this personally for me, I would I'm surprised he didn't get a nomination in other places like Golden Globes or
Uh-huh.
Critics' Choice. I will say that just because he it wasn't him just playing mean. He gave depth to the character to me.
Yes.
Not to understand where he's coming from, because other people kind of shared that passively. You kind of, oh, that's where that come from, which I appreciate them
Mm-hmm.
talking about generational things that are passed down.
Mm-hmm.
But he just gave more to it. Like we laughed at him at times.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And stuff like, yeah, you had the ending where he has like his redemption, I guess you could say, or just humbleness about him. But yeah, I'm surprised about that.
Maybe he didn't get a lot because they were anticipating that he may get some for Rustin.
I still have to watch that. I still have to watch
That's
that,
my only
which is crazy
that's the only
because
thing that I could think why.
yeah, which I don't know what Rustin has got nominated for or not. I still haven't seen it, um, but yeah, very interesting, very interesting. But other than that, definitely deserving of all of the nominations. And y'all, it's way more than this. You can go check out the rest of them on IMDb. But very enjoyable film. Just a production of it. One
Oh
thing
yeah,
that
he got nominated for a Golden Globe
okay,
for Best Actor for Rustin,
okay.
as well as a Critic Choice. So that's probably why they
Mm.
probably didn't want. Well, but he would have been supporting. Hmm.
I mean,
I don't know.
they would have to choose either or. But those are different categories because he's the lead in that one and he's supporting in this one.
Yeah, yeah,
And me personally, I feel like, if it may have been somebody else, they probably would have gotten nominated in both. If it was
yeah.
good enough. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
yeah.
Yeah, if it's good enough. And I have to look back at the nominations to see, and I haven't been able to watch everything under the sun. Um, but yeah,
He's also
one thing.
nominated for a Black Reel Award for
Oh, yeah.
outstanding lead performance.
Okay, gotcha. And oh, is that okay? You said Black Reel Awards,
Mm-hmm.
and see, that's what I'm saying. Then he's nominated for Color Purple
For
as well.
Rustin. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so he got Rust in it, then he got Color Purple in the same thing. So I but I know it's more
right.
narrow than aware of like that. So, but one thing before we get off that I want to go back to, did when it came to the production, and I really feel like this is a Steven Spielberg note, kind of like Spike Lee has his thing aware of like that with the dollying and everything. Um, did you recognize, and I feel like it stood out even more when Fantasia when Celie was in her store, how when Mister came in there, that there wasn't like we were getting a real visual of how it would actually look in real life. Like there wasn't as much lighting in some moments, and how we didn't see his face at times, or we would only see some moments of her face at times, like with the light. Did you realize that?
No,
Yeah.
no, I did it. I can't even front. Like I would
Yeah.
have to see those clips again.
Hmm. And it kind of give you like an old school nod too, because sometimes, especially like the mystery movies, especially the black and white, when it's like a detective and it's like the only light that going across their face looking, it was kind of like those type of moments. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to see all of Blitz projects because I know he has one on Netflix. It was on Netflix, but a while back when I was trying to watch it after listening to his conversation with Ryan Coogler on their podcast in Proximity, uh, I couldn't find it anymore. So I don't know what's the deal about that. I don't know if it was a temporary thing, but I thought it was an original project. But anyway, lighting wise, that's something that I felt inspired by because I'm not a big fan on putting lights in places just to make it appropriate for the technicality of putting a film together. Like if a light is truly not there, I don't care if you can't see them, long as they can see something of them and it's not distracting. Why are we forcing the lighting in certain areas? And that's just
I get what you're saying, but I think Blitz did it well there's some stuff like you didn't watch a couple
Yeah.
episodes of Game of Thrones and you like I can't see not a
Oh no.
thing.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
too dark.
Yes.
Game of Thrones is
Yes.
too dark. But I
Yeah.
think Blitz did a good job. I did notice the
Hmm.
lighting, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And
It
that's
was
what I'm.
very natural, real.
Yes, yes, and
Hmm.
that's what I'm big about. And at times, and thankfully, yeah, I'm a director and all this stuff like that. I'm in the film, but thankfully, even though I observe things, I don't let that take away from my experience or whatever, because I admire these things or I note these things. But I can tell in moments there was some added lighting here and there to where it's like, okay, yeah, of course that makes sense, or of course that's going to enhance. But then there was moments like in her shop where there wasn't a lot of headlight. There was mostly because she was about to close there, most of the light was coming through the windows and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
it's like, man, what was the conversation about that? Like, what made you take, that chance on like it's still gonna be okay or whatever. And because that's how I am. I'm not quick to add in too much light unless I just have to. But yeah. But yeah, but overall, great film. Shout out to everybody
I
and
just hope that they
stuff.
take home some awards
Yeah, I really do
everywhere.
too. I'm really interested to see, not that I'm saying they just have to, but I really am interested to see what it's gonna look like when it comes to the Academy announcements. And
Hmm.
stuff like that. We're
It's
gonna
gonna
see a
be a
lot.
dog. The Academy is gonna be a dog eat because they had Color Purple, they
Hmm.
had Barbie, they
Hmm.
had what was that movie that came out the same time as Barbie?
Oh, Oppenheimer. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
just
I
with
mean,
those three, like I'm sure it was some other like really big movies that are
mhm.
critically acclaimed. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a good award season for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I feel like next year's is gonna be the same because Dune 2 come out. Deadpool 3 is gonna be out this year, along with a lot of other films and stuff. So I think I'm loving that film is finding its way back. I feel like for a time there'll be some things here and there, but I feel like there are more great movies coming out,
Hmm.
and some things to look forward to, and fresher franchises that are worth keeping up with. So yeah, it like you said, like I'm not gonna knock most for the most part. I don't feel like there's gonna be much to knock about it. Of course, if it's gonna be the absence, not that we need to get catered to as black filmmakers and stories, but of course, if there's barely any representation, of course it's gonna be a thing. But
That's the issue.
yeah, but at the same time, outside of Best Picture, which I feel like that's going to be the biggest challenge, even for a musical, to get a Best Picture nomination as Academy, I do feel like the actors
I
are
mean,
very deserving.
They thought La La Land beat Moonlight, so
Exactly,
it's
exactly.
not far fetched.
It's not far-fetched. I do feel like it's definitely worthy of it because it's very unique, great ensemble, and I feel like that's what deserve it. That is deserving of that, but we'll see what the
Hmm.
odds may be.
Praying for
Um,
goodness.
but overall, Blaze, really enjoyed it. Glad to be back. Episode
It's
one of
season
season
two.
two. Oh
Season
yeah.
two.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, we got a lot of things coming for y'all. We're gonna be doing some very unique approaches, hoping to get some special guests to the episodes as well and stuff like that. So we're just really excited to be back in this. We're enjoying it and just please, 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 just please, let people know about it. Let this ride in your car in the morning, on your way back home, whatever the case may be. And please, please, please also just let us know how you feel about these things, what you like, what you was confused about, what you would like us to probably include and stuff like that. So we can keep this going because we truly enjoy this experience. This is a reliever. We get to talk about things that we enjoy, which are great stories that are being told. So but other than that, y'all have a good rest of the day, noon or night, and stay tuned for the next one.
Peace.
Peace.